All right, welcome back, everybody. Crypto Rolly here. Happy Friday. This might be take number 30. I just can't get the intro started. Once I do, you know I get rolling. Crypto Rolly roll. Hopefully, this is the take. All right, lots to talk about as usual. The CME monthly expiration is today. Possible volatility comes with that. And we also have the monthly candle close in about 2 days as we stand. It's pretty bullish. So we'll take a look at that as well as our usual indicators. Go ahead, smash the like, leave a comment, hit the subscribe, tick the bell for notifications. Remember, these are my own ideas and opinions on the market, so please do your own research, trade at your own risk. I am not your financial advisor. All right, got through that part. Let's look at the market. Okay, so Bitcoin, in the last 24 hours, it says basically sideways. We did have a nice rally yesterday and a bit of a pullback afterwards. So as we stand 24 hours later, sideways. All right, 1.8 billion volume though, pretty good. Good for trading. Going into the weekend though, we will typically see this volume drop off, which means usually two things. It means, very sideways action with not a lot of moves. And then when you do get a move, there's not enough volume for follow through, that it typically is just a stop hunt, a wick, just it shoots up and then right back down, or dumps and then right back down. And then, you always have that CME gap to play on Sunday, depending on where the gap opens. Ethereum had a nice rally as well yesterday, seeing a bit of a pullback. Tezos had a nice rally yesterday. Cardano is doing well. They have their mainnet launch end of June, I'm pretty sure. So they said end of Q2 2020. Also, you have Ethereum 2.0 coming in June. So you could see both of these rallies. So let's keep our eye on that. The Crypto Fear and Greed Index, 48, very neutral. And basically, I feel like this is, showing how the market feels. You have the bears screaming lower highs, critical resistance. So they have a good argument. And then you have the bulls saying, hey, we're above the 21 weekly EMA. We have just broken above, some critical resistance, flipped as support. We're looking good. The fundamentals are good. And to top it off, we're in the middle of a symmetrical triangle, equal opportunity. So yeah, 50-50 neutral. I agree right now. Let's take a look at the Coinbase chart real quick. I've had this mapped out for you guys. It's a good macro look at everything. You can see our descending trend line from the top there. And we have this resistance box between 10.5 and 9,400 using price action, top there, top there. And then you also saw some resistance here. This was support, then flipped resistance, resistance, flipped support. You can see the resistance as well. So, pretty good. It's a large zone there, but you can see how it's played out. And, if we can finally get above 10.5, I think that most analysts will agree that we are in a bull market and ready for a bull run. If we, close beneath my support box, this is down here around low 72 to 100 to, 6,800. About, if we lose this level, this will be very bearish. Otherwise, in between here is still a consolidation, and if you're looking at the weekly, guys, if you zoom out here, we have been going pretty much sideways since this massive run up. You could even draw this here like most people are doing, looking at a symmetrical triangle. So, is this just one major bull flag, pull up, symmetrical triangle, looking to break and then go for that next rally? So, in between this zone, to me, I think is just good opportunity to accumulate. If you're an investor, it's good for dollar cost averaging. If you're an intraday trader, of course, you're going to have ups and downs. So it just depends on your game plan. But basically, you have this support box, which I've also said if we do happen to come down and we get a bounce, you could get something like that. That would be an inverse head and shoulders. So left shoulder, head, right shoulder, just something to keep on the radar. So, even if we come down here, there could still be some possible hope there. And then, 7,800 was also a critical level. You can see that it was a support, flipped resistance, and we'd like to see it hold as support as well if we do come back down to that region. Going back in closer, take a look at, this consolidation that we talked about yesterday. Basically, is this a descending triangle? Is it a symmetrical triangle? It doesn't really matter. We're consolidating. I mean, it does matter. Okay, I'll tell you why it matters. If it's a symmetrical triangle, it's a 50-50 opportunity. If it's a descending triangle, there's more chance of it breaking to the downside. However, it doesn't have to break to the downside. Either way, it looks like a potential bull flag. We have a target possibly up here around 11.8 to 12K using, if you did a pull from here and you drag that pull from there to there, you would land in that region there, filling the gap. So another possibility. And, whether it's a symmetrical triangle or a descending triangle, you still have this lower high structure, and we are at resistance. So, I was talking about, buy support, sell resistance. So I'm not looking to jump into a long at this moment. Your opportunity was down here, maybe even in here there was a good opportunity on lower time frames, but right now would be a time to be patient. Also with the CME, I'm glad I remembered. So the CME monthly contracts expire today, and most often on these Fridays you actually see a sell-off. Why is this? Well, people have to exit their trades. Today's the last day. And, if you bought in at the beginning of the month, you're at a profit now and you can close at a profit. But when you close that long, you're going to have to sell it. So that could possibly be a reason, All right. So it's not guaranteed if it's going to be, up or down. It's just typically you do have volatility, and typically it does sell off. The beginning of the months are typically better for longs. That's just how it goes in the past. All right. So, looking at that formation, the other thing to note about this consolidation is the apex of a symmetrical triangle would end, sometime in June if we fill it all the way out. Now, if it's a descending triangle, the apex could last a bit longer through July even. So for the sake of, everyone, I hope that this is a symmetrical triangle and it breaks out sooner than later. But, Bitcoin likes to rally hard or dump hard and go sideways for some time. So, it either shakes you out, with some choppy sideways action. Amateur traders will get beat up pretty bad during that small sideways choppy range. And or you just stop paying attention, you get bored, and then when you're not paying attention, price just takes off without you. The games that Bitcoin plays. Okay, so I think I've summarized all of that. Let me go over to my Bitstamp chart. I have one other thing of interest, and then we'll go into the monthly and break down. So on my Bitcoin or Bitstamp chart, I should say, we've been looking at this rising support line on the daily. We did lose that support line, and with that rally yesterday, we actually came up and retested it as resistance, and we have seen a bit of a pullback. And then you have this descending trend line resistance formed as well. Multiple touches, so definitely valid. You can see this on the 4-hour closer. So you have this descending trend line, and then we had that support line now flipped as resistance. So as I said on Twitter, if you're not following me, Crypto Rolly on Twitter, we have a double roadblock here. So we got hit by this support flip resistance as well as this downtrend. So not a surprise that we did get a little bit of a rejection there. So guys, yeah, I'm going to want to see us break this downtrend, and then on top of that, to feel even better, I'd like to get back above 9,800. basically using the daily candles. 9,800 was the candle body high here and here, so we need to break that, and then I think we could attempt at 10.5. Okay, to the downside though, we have 9,200 has been a nice level of interest. You can see 9,200 play out previously. You can see where it was resistance and support here as well. So, maybe we come back and test that. Also the weekend, if we come back down to, retest lower levels, you'll have a gap above on Sunday, and these gaps typically fill out. So, if you're looking at this as a bullish scenario, maybe you come back down, retest some support. Doesn't have to come to 9,200. We'll look at some other indicators, but come back down, retest support, create a gap, and then fill that gap, and then maybe march back up to another attempt to break this downtrend. Now, if we rally over the weekend, there will be a gap beneath us, so we have to keep that in mind as well. Okay, so let me go ahead and go over to the monthly. Hit that like for me. Again, if you haven't hit the like, let's get the algorithm pumping. All right, so the monthly high, or this monthly candle closed at 93.27, and our current price on this candle is 94.28. So if we close at current price, you will have a new high on the monthly candle close. So you can see where this happened here. When you close that monthly candle above there, we actually rallied to 10.5K, and then we had the pandemic sell-off. Okay, so if we close back above this one, we could get another rally. This monthly looks pretty bullish to me. You have this nice engulfing reversal candle on the monthly, and we're putting in another green. If we can close it back above that, that's just another step in the right direction. Let's see if we see anything with our moving averages, and above all major moving averages on the monthly. So you can't complain there. Let's see if we see anything with the Ichimoku. Ichimoku, we are at resistance level right here. So that will be a level to beat. Is coming in, let's see, it says 99.44, so around 10K. Yeah, 10K, definitely a level we need to surpass. Let's see our Stokes. So the fast moving Stoke on the monthly still rising. Our slow moving Stoke is looking for a cross up. If we close at this price or higher, I believe we will confirm that cross up. So guys, the last time we had the cross up on the slow moving Stoke, you had the rally from here to there, and then we had the rally down here. So zoom out on the monthly, you can really see how I was talking about. We had the rally, we've gone sideways. I think and I've been arguing this for I don't know, long time now, guys. I mean, if you've been watching my videos, I haven't been bearish for at least like a month. Ever since we broke above 7,800, really, I've been feeling good because we've gone sideways. This was the ultimate bubble pop, and if we were going to, go to zero, I feel like we had plenty of opportunities. We had to sell off here. We bounced hard. We had a pandemic sell-off, and we just retraced, pretty much that whole sell-off. Nice wick here, just going sideways, maintaining near 10K. And then the fundamentals with the halving, to me, I don't see anything bearish about this. So, guys, looking good, looking good. All right, let's go down to the weekly. Take a look at the weekly. On the weekly, you don't have an engulfing as we stand right now. We're still, at that critical level we've been looking at. Your fast-moving Stoke is looking for a cross back up, though, and your slow-moving Stoke has not crossed down. So, no, it's not an engulfing on the weekly, but it's still a green bullish weekly candle. where I'm sure, you know, after this red engulfing, this looked like a potential reversal. So this is much better to see than another red candle down if you're a bull. Your slow moving Stoch's still up and rising, and your fast moving Stoch is looking to cross back up. So potential bull flag, you know, on the weekly, that would be insane. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. What would be the target? Let's do a pull from here to there, and we'll drag that there. And this is just rough, of course, real rough, real rough. So that's got me at 13,000, surpassing, you know, the candle body highs here. So why not? Does that look, I know all these white lines are in the way, but does that look that crazy to you? You know what I mean? V-shaped recovery, you know, a bit of a stall right there at a resistance level. And then if you're able to break out, you know, it looks good. You know, let's go ahead and stop out anyone who has shorts up here. I don't know who still has a short up here. Maybe they took one here and have a liquidation really high. Who knows? All right, so yeah, looked at that. Let me see. Our stochastics looked at. Our moving averages. This is always important, right? So above the yellow 21 EMA, macro bullish. Well, we broke above it, you know, over a month ago. We've retested and bounced twice, and we are looking to hold this blue 50 simple on the weekly. It's at 87.83. We're at 9,400. I believe we will close above that. So we're above all major moving averages, and I believe on the next weekly candle close, your 10 simple, the light blue 10 simple, will cross over the orange 50 EMA. So having a lower time frame like the 10 cross above the 50 is a bullish cross on the weekly. So, you know, things look good there too. Let's look at the Ichimoku clouds real quick. Ichimoku clouds, okay. You can see we are at resistance level here. You know, the cloud is coming back down, and we can see the price is kind of respecting that. We're going to want to see the next weekly, if you want to be bullish, the next weekly candle close. You know, we're going to want to break that downtrend, that little symmetrical triangle consolidation, which would involve breaking back into the cloud. So if we can do that, close in the cloud, possibly march up to the top of the cloud, which is around you know, in this vicinity over here, 11,300, okay? Your support to the downside is 88.65, the orange conversion line. Now, you know, people want to talk about the settings on Ichimoku clouds. These are my 24/7 crypto market settings. If you have a setting that works for you, you know, awesome. There's many indicators. So, you know, like you can't have them all up on the screen. And for me, you know, this weekly Ichimoku setting is playing out. You can see the bounce there perfectly off the blue conversion line. You can see where it held support there. You can see it bounced off of the bottom of the cloud here. You can see the blue conversion line resistance there. We hit a little stall point on that one, and we're respecting the cloud here. I don't know what else you could want from your weekly Ichimoku. All right. Daily Ichimoku, we're above the blue conversion line. Your support would be down at 9,037. Nothing too much to report there. Nice little green cloud forming though. Oh, I do want to see on the weekly. How's the cloud? So it's tightening up. We don't have a green cloud on the weekly yet. Okay. So, but looking good there. All right, going over to our moving averages. Above all moving averages on the daily. However, you know, below resistance. So you got to keep that in mind. Your support is going to be this, you know, yellow 21 EMA, I would say 91.38 to the downside. But this should move up slightly if we hold this, possibly to that 9,200 horizontal that I was talking about, okay? Let's see, our stochastics. Your daily stochastic, the fast moving, is still rising. depending on how this closes, could get a cross down. Your daily stoke on the slow moving wants to cross up, but is hesitant. We'll see what happens with today's candle. This might not be the cross yet, but it's getting close to that point. It's getting close to that point. Really, that resistance line is the key here, guys. That's going to be the key. Going to the 12-hour, looking at our 12-hour, you did get that cross down on the fast moving. So, and we have seen that little bit of a pullback back down to our moving averages. We'll have to see if we can hold support there. 92.87 to 92.28. So the 12 hours lining up more with my 9200 zone there. But your 12-hour slow moving stoke is still to the upside. So we'll have to see, if this continues to play out. You'll see this continue to rise and maybe a cross down. But if we get a bounce, this will continue to rise and then this will cross back up. Okay. I can look at the Ichimoku cloud. I think I skipped it the past few days. So nice, healthy green support cloud here and above your blue conversion line. However, if we do see this blue conversion cross beneath the orange baseline, that's going to be a bearish Kumo cross. You can see where we had the bullish Kumo cross here, and we've rallied hard. So we'll have to keep our eye on that one there. Okay. So the 4-hour, we're looking for a bullish Kumo cross if the blue can cross above the orange. And you have your support cloud down here. It's starting to decline, and that support level is now at 91.35 down here. Okay. Let's look at the MA. So looking. Yeah, this was a little doji here. This wasn't, a good enough close for me on the 4-hour to look for a rally. Also, like I said, with the CME expiration today, I'm not excited. And unfortunately, going into the weekend, might have to take a pause. But, your blue tin simple, is at 94.21. So looking to see if, we can close above that, or if we close below it, you might look at the yellow 21 EMA at 92.73 as your next level of support there. Okay, so our moving averages, our stochastic, this fast moving stoke had to cross down here. So last night, I was in a bit of a Bitcoin trade. I took a momentum trade, but ended up closing break even. And I didn't want to jump back in because of that 4-hour candle there. And I had the stoke was high here and the stoke was high here, my slow and the fast. And we did get that pull back there. Your slow moving stoke is still coming down. So, like I've been saying, if you're looking for longs, your opportunities are down here when you get the cross up from the bottom, especially if it can line up, with the fast and the slow, both coming from the bottom. So, we could get this to cross back up, but then if it just crosses back down, this guy's going to keep going that way. So not the best opportunity, so a good opportunity to look at, maybe other coins, or just take a little bit of a breather, take a break. Okay, so basically the summary of today is we're in this symmetrical triangle. We can look at all of these indicators, but at the end of the day, I think the most critical thing to look at is just this right here. So we're right in the middle of it. Not where I want to take a long. Now if we can get a breakout, and we can adjust this. This is my Coinbase one. I had it a little nicer on the Bitstamp chart there. So yeah, something like that. So if we can break above there, this line here is actually my 20K to 14K top. So, looking at that resistance trend, looking at this support box, looking to buy support, sell resistance, especially in a sideways range. All right, it's been 24 minutes, quite some time. Real quick, while I got you still here, let's take a look at the Bitcoin dominance, and I'll look at some altcoins just real fast. Okay, What is that wick? Okay, on the daily, that's a weird wick. Okay, on the daily, the dominance was falling, so the altcoins were doing a little bit better and still falling. So, it's not a complete onslaught of Bitcoin like we had there. So basically, when the dominance was rising, that meant Bitcoin was outperforming the altcoins. But right now, especially after, yesterday, the altcoins were doing pretty well. So let's go ahead and take a look real quick. Yeah, I don't have too much to say except for, if this bounces and rises, say we get that breakout. If we break out and rally to 10.5, you see the dominance rising, that means Bitcoin is the better crypto to be in. Now if this is falling as the market is rising, the altcoins are outperforming. So good to check your dominance before you move into altcoins. Okay, so let's see, let's go to Ethereum real quick. Ethereum, actually I want to go to my PHEMEX. Okay, so Ethereum broke out yesterday, so we'll have to see, does it flip this resistance as support? So this is something I've been watching for some time. I have this level at 215, but I'd say 215 to 217 was a hard resistance, and we had a nice breakout. But it's going to follow mostly what Bitcoin is doing, so we have to keep our eye on Bitcoin. But basically this level, you could extend this one out, a little bit further this way, and you can see how this was also a critical level in the past. You had a resistance, then a support level there, and this resistance here. So it's good to flip this as support. 195 was the previous level I was looking at for quite some time. You can see the resistance there. And we found support and have rallied. So we're going to see if this flips as support. And you're also looking at, this was looking like an ascending triangle formation. So flat top with a rising support line. So with an ascending triangle, they do typically break bullish. And we have broken above. So if we can, find that support and keep rallying, I had a target coming up to this level here around 245, and you could use, from there to there, draw a little, possible measured move target, and that takes you right around there. Okay, so that would, measured move to 240, 245, and that would, retest that peak there. Okay, and you know how this goes, they like to retest peaks, so, and then if you're able to, keep going, the next peak would be there. Okay, so that's that on Ethereum. Just, have to keep our eye on Bitcoin, because if Bitcoin's going to dump, they all dump. But that could be a good opportunity on Ethereum to catch a bounce. Okay, it already looked like a little bit of bounce, but this could flag out. We'll have to see. If we come back here and get a bounce, that could be a good opportunity. So I saw on Tezos a nice breakout. Called this for my Discord group. It's free. Take a look in the info below if you want the link there. So we had a symmetrical triangle that I was monitoring. We finally broke above it, and then we retested it, and I bought the retest, and we bounced, and pretty nice profits there. So now the thing here is we are, at this peak here, so that's going to be a resistance level. And then, if you keep going up, you're going to have resistance there. And, also if Bitcoin dumps, so will Tezos. But currently looking decent on the 4 hour. You do have the cross down on the high Stoch, and, the Stoch's high here, and you're high on the RSI. So, now you're kind of chasing this opportunity. I would be careful, with this. This was the move down here to take. Okay, let's go Link, and I'll be done. So Link is still pretty much going sideways and slightly higher. above 385 was a level I'd been watching. So that's good that we're, above there. But now we're putting in this horizontal right around this level that we just got rejected from. Let me go ahead and draw another horizontal, and that's about $4 and 13 cents. So we were ranging for quite some time, and now it looks like we're ranging in this level. So it's just moving up, one level at a time. Nothing too exciting to say here. Yesterday we also were high on the 4-hour RSI. Your Stochh was coming down and your Stochh was high here as well. So I'm waiting for these to turn around. I'm waiting for Bitcoin to, if it's going to have a little bit of a sell-off, do that. And, just let we had a rally for 2 days, basically. Let it chill out. Wait for these stochastics to get low and then cross back up. And I'm primarily just looking for longs. If Bitcoin and crypto is bullish, I rather look for long setups instead of taking, shorts. Obviously, you can take shorts, but for sure the shorts are going to be a faster, quicker scalp type trade because, it could just bounce and then continue higher. You're better off, you have a better chance of winning in a long when your asset is bullish, as long as you have, good setup. You can't just buy in anywhere and say, but I thought I was supposed to long. No, you still have to wait for a good setup, but still longs are the way to go here, unless we start dumping hard or the stock market starts dumping hard. So to finish it up, let's look at the stock market. I guess this video is getting a little longer. Oh well. The stock market, guys, has rallied, and looking at it on a lower time frame, nothing bearish yet. Still putting in higher highs and higher lows. So until we break that structure, I wouldn't be too worried. The NASDAQ, the NASDAQ is more, there's going to be more tech companies in this, and the tech companies have been doing pretty well, actually. But what's interesting to note is that NASDAQ is almost back to its all-time high. So very interesting that we're almost all the way back to the all-time high, considering the unemployment rate, the potential recession, yada, yada, yada. So this would look like an area to get a pullback, right? So we have to be aware of that. This one's definitely, has rallied a lot harder than the S&P 500. So this could be a leading indicator, but guys, if we break down this way, S&P starts breaking down, Bitcoin could break down too. But I think I said yesterday, I think the correlation between Bitcoin and the stock market at the moment is more of a macro look. So if we're going to have a macro sell-off, then in the stock market, Bitcoin could follow. But the intraday, it isn't following the same. Right after the huge black swan dump, each day they were following each other down to the 15-minute chart. But now, one could pump, the other could dump, so I wouldn't have the chart side by side on a daily basis necessarily. All right, that's enough. Long-winded. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Rolly roll.